And how was the day you sold Waze? I mean, you woke up, it was a regular day, or did you wake up differently? How was it?
So I think that the most important part, the most significant memory that I have is thinking of all the employees. Waze was, the acquisition of Waze was life-changing event for me, but it was life-changing event for all the 107 employees of Waze. Mm-hmm. And I always thought that, I brought these people to join my journey. And I'm happy for that. And I'm really happy that I was able to change their life. And that was perhaps the most significant thought that I had and lasted for forever, right? And because at the end of the day, and I will say, you have to be very generous with your team. The team is the one that is building everything, right? So you might be, guiding them and coaching them and setting the objectives and so forth. But the work is being done by the team. And so be extra generous with them because they are the ones that are going to make you successful.
So you mean they had probably equity in the company?
They had a lot of equity.
And when you sold it, they made money also?
Exactly.
Okay. And that's good because if it was only for you, you would be happy, but they wouldn't. So the company may have struggled.
My thesis is that with employees, you need to be extra generous with equity, right? They are part of the journey. Mm-hmm. And you want them to feel like part of the journey. And you want them to know that if this is going to be successful, then they are going to be extremely rewarded.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I think this way. We have 33 partners here in our group. And some of them started the journey with me, and some of them reached high levels. They would never think about it. But I'm happy, and they're happy with me. That's very important also.
So I want all of your employees to have equity.
Me too, but now this depends on them. But we created the possibility of this happening. It's culture and results. If we have culture and results, doesn't matter the time, they become partners.
Yep.
We created this partnership program I'm very happy with. And Waze was not the only successful startup you created. You created a lot of startups and bought some maybe after Waze. How was the journey after Waze?
So I left the day after, right, in order to build more startups. And the next unicorn that I built was Moovit. And Moovit is the Waze for public transportation. Mm-hmm. But I have...
And you created afterwards Waze, like the same year or...
we started that in beginning of 2012, right? So that was before and then I was, coaching the CEO and mentoring the CEO. But what I have since then is a method of building startups, right? And that method is very unique for me because I engage with those startups before they even start. And I guide them and mentor the CEO. And that's, using my experience as an entrepreneur and my teacher personality to mentor them, coach them, and help them to become more successful. So I've built dozens of startups since Waze. Some of them turned out to be unsuccessful. Some of them died during COVID because of the challenges that we had. But most of them are actually on a path of being successful. One of the things that I'm doing now in Brazil is actually I'm building an investment vehicle that I call the Double Down Fund that is going to invest in my companies, right? In those that are going to become successful, that we are looking at them and basically say, okay, these are very likely to become successful. I'll give you some examples. Pontera is one of my more advanced startups, and this is the one that I started. I actually left Waze in order to become active at Pontera. And what they do is they help American to retire richer. Mm-hmm. Now, the challenge with retirement saving, it's a global challenge, right? When you're young, you don't care. And when you become older, it's too late. Because you really need to start saving and investing into your retirement from your first job, right? As early as possible. And then what you need to do is actually invest in equity, right? So S&P 500 would be a good way to do that, right? But most of the retirement saving plans, the default is not good, right? The default is like money market, right? Or something that is not going to have enough of return that will allow you to retire with enough funding. And what Pontera does is help that, right? So in the U.S. only, and this is huge market, $15 trillion market, and so we are the bridge for better retirement in that sense. By the way, we started it differently. We call that FEX, and then we focus on financial fees, and that people didn't know that they're paying them, and then we evolve, and this is where we are today. Some more startups, Fairfly, that deals with biggest secret in travel industry. What happened to airfare after you book your flight? Now, no one knows because no one is comparing prices after they make the reservations, right? But the airfare is going up and down all the time. It's going up and down before you're making the reservations and keep on going up and down after. So if this is the price that you paid and this is cancellation fees, when the price drops here, you are leaving money on the table. You can actually rebook the same flight at a cheaper price. Now, if you think about it from an individual perspective, it's one thing. But for a corporate, we can save 10% of the travel budget. And that goes directly to the bottom line. So this company is very successful and, have many of my companies are now exactly at the point of time that you will say, okay, this is where I would like to invest, right? Because product market fit is already demonstrated. $10 million of revenues, profitable, doubling the business year over year, exactly where companies are set to take off, right? And so, and this is, by the way, why I'm building the Double Down Fund in order to invest in those companies today that are set on a trajectory of being successful.
O maior evento de educação financeira do mundo está chegando, é isso mesmo, FinDay 2024, dia 19 de outubro, serão mais de 10 horas de conteúdo, grandes nomes do mercado, temos Thiago Nigro, Bruno Perini, Guilherme Bentimol, Flávio Augusto, Clóvis de Barros, Paulo Guedes, Felipe Spritzer, Cristina Junqueira, ou seja, um baita de um evento para você curtir o dia inteiro. Serão mais de 25 mil pessoas numa plenária gigante, no maior evento que o Grupo Primo já fez. E para você fazer parte disso, vou deixar aqui um link na descrição e você também pode seguir o Instagram FinDay_Grupo Primo para você ficar por dentro de todas as informações, tirar suas dúvidas e tudo mais, beleza? Espero você lá.